Right, here we go. We're going to continue Pokemon FireRed. Yesterday we were partway through Victory Road. We're going to wrap up Victory Road today. And then let's see if we can take on the Pokemon League. We're 17 and a half hours in. We have beaten Rival on Route 22. Went through the Pokemon League gate. We had added some max repels for the final push here through Victory Road. So we had just fought this trainer down here. Next one is this optional trainer. She says, I'll show you just how good you are. Not. Cooltrainer Caroline would like to battle. 5 Pokemon in play. Starting out with a level 42 Bellsprout, weak against fire and flying type moves. Beating Bellsprout gives you 756 EXP. Next up is a level 42 Weeping Bell, weak against the same kind of moves. The evolved form of Bellsprout. Beating Weeping Bell gives us 1,359 EXP. Now we're off to the final evolution of Bellsprout and Weeping Bell, a level 42 Victory Bell. $1,719 EXP to beat. Next up is Parasect. These are all grass and poison types. Same kind of moves are going to work. Flying types, fire types, psychic type moves also are good. Beating level 2. Beating the level 42 Parasect gets us 1,152 EXP. And then we have the pre-evolution of Parasect, which is Paras. Level 42 Paras. Beating that gets us 630 EXP, although FX4 ended up putting Charizard to sleep. Beating Cooltrainer Caroline gets us 3,024 G of Amulet Coin. Half of that without Amulet Coin would be 1,012 G. She says, you showed me just how good I was. Okay, so you keep going down and to the right. And what you can do is actually push this boulder up too, and then you can actually go back to your previous area. But if you keep moving, go right, you can push the next boulder to the right 1 square, and then you advance to the next area. Right? You know, you can either fall through. We're not going to fall through. But we can go back through essentially where we started. So that gets us through. Okay, so we're back to where we were at the beginning of the 3rd floor. Let's see. Whether moving this boulder all the way makes any difference now. I'm not totally sure. It has been a little while since I've done Victory Road, so let's see. Gotta think about. We did that stretch already. The boulder's back there. I mean, we could jump down and see what that looks like. Down that way. Which we haven't tried yet. I don't think that's the path, though. Okay, so on the second floor, we moved this boulder on the bottom here. I guess that probably does make sense, because now we can move that boulder all the way. So we drop that boulder down, and then we can move it bunch of squares to the left. Then move it 19 squares to the left, and it made a sound, which means it got locked in. And then we can go back up to the third floor, and again move that one boulder up 2 squares, the one we couldn't actually lock in earlier. Keep using max repels. Then move this 22 squares to the left. Again, one down. 4 to the left. 3 down, 1 to the right. I don't think it locked in, though. Did it? Yeah, it didn't lock in, so that's not it either. Interesting puzzle. So that doesn't lock in. The boulder we dropped down still dropped down, and we can't move this one easily. So if we move it down 1 to the right, it doesn't get us through. But you can go the other direction and move it left. We're gonna have to go back down the floor to see whether we missed anything. There's this area, and then you can see an exit on the other side there. You can just run through, and then that's that. This ended up getting moved back. Victory Road is basically the most annoying puzzle section in, like, Pokemon. It's uniquely difficult. Maybe I had to move this back, too. The one on the bottom left. It did not click. Well, there's also this ladder to the left of the one who said blue also came through here. If we went up that way, it does lead us to some optional trainers up here, and we did not fight them earlier. This is Tyra. We're trying to become champions together. So this is the bottom right of the section of the dungeon we dungeon level that we'd start with. Cool couple Ray and Tyra, Tyra. Send out Nidoqueen and Nidoking. Level 45 Nidoqueen, level 45 Nidoking. Any kind of strong move should be pretty decent. 939 EXP against Nidoking for each of your Pokemon if you beat the level 45 Nidoking. And then we've got the Nidoqueen left. Nidoqueen does a poison point, which can poison your Pokemon. Has Body Slam as a potential move. $934 EXP each for each Pokemon after beating the level 45 Nidoqueen. 4,320 G if you have an amulet coin being held. Tyra says, "You've taught me that power can be infinite in shape and form." Ray says, "You've beaten us, greatness remains elusive." So that boulder you saw earlier, you actually can move 2 to the left now. And you could actually go back through. You can also go downstairs, which actually takes you to a new section. He says, you should be proud of yourself by getting through Victory Road. In recognition of your feat, I'll teach you Double Edge. Would you like to teach that technique? I'll teach you the technique anytime. That's up to you. So we're getting towards the end now of Victory Road. Level 42 Primeape is a potential Pokemon you can run into. Another one of those wild Pokemon that we just mostly skip because of Max Repel, but we're through at this point. We were very close to actually getting through Victory Road, just basically have one more step left. trouble getting this Primeape down. An Ultra Ball here. I mean, Primeape is higher on HP right now. So there used to be in Victory Road in the original Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow games the ability to capture Moltres on Victory Road. Moltres has moved to a different location and is not there anymore. We're still gonna just catch the Primeape for the sake of completion. You actually can Ultra Ball land with this Primeape. Alright, we got the Primeape. So we can keep going right and down. And then we're out of Victory Road onto the north side of Route 23. And then if you go to and take a look, Indigo Plateau is the ultimate goal of trainers, Pokemon League HQ. Highest Pokemon Authority, Pokemon League HQ. So now we can keep going up now. You have to actually go, there's a little bit of a puzzle in that you can't just go up any little way up. You have to go up kind of on the right side and then kind of loop around and then you'll reach Indigo Plateau. And then once you get in, you'll first want to heal first. You can heal at the free Pokemon Center and then we're heading towards a Pokemon League. But before we actually go to the Pokemon League, I want to take one last stop. Okay, one person here says, yo, champ in the making at the Pokemon League. You'll face the Elite Four all in a row. If you lose, you have to start all over again. This is it. Go for it. There's a Pokemart functionally on the top left side. Let's go ahead and get... This is a place where you want to buy items, if you want to buy items. I'm going to, even though max repels are not required, I'm going to still restock up to 6, or to 10 Ultra Balls all the way as well. Let's have some max... Max potions are a little more expensive, so I don't love using them quite as much. Considering your Pokemon aren't really above 200 HP anyway, Hyper Potions are a little more cost effective. This is where you want to set your lineup if you need it. There's one other Pokemon though you can catch before you move on. That could be useful for this lineup if you want to kind of have a bonus before you move on. We're going to fly back to Cinnabar Island for that section. First, the Pokémart there allows you to buy Hyper Potions instead of Max Potions, which come cheaper. So I'm going to go ahead and buy Hyper Potions. Let's get all the way up to 15 Hyper Potions. So we have up to 15 available. We'll do the same thing for Revives. Let's get up there. So we have 15 of each. Full heals, we'll do the same thing at 15. That's probably overkill for what we're trying to do, but that's fine. And then you may remember there was someone who talked to you walking out of Cinnabar Island, and he said go to the Pokemon Center. Let's go to the Pokemon Center now. And then there's this guy at the front. Okay, I don't think there's that guy, actually. Bill. says, hey, so you want to talk to Bill? Hey, you kept me waiting, ready to set sail to one island. One island is part of the Sevii Islands. If you go this way, you have a chance at getting one more amazing Pokemon before um, playing the Pokemon League. You can always go to Sevii Islands afterwards, and that's fine. You know, you can always do Sevii Islands as a post-game thing. But for the sake of getting one more strong Pokemon, let's do that, and then we can always go back to the Sevii Islands afterwards, after beating the game. But let's follow Bill, and he's going to take you on a ship. He says, looks like my pal's boat arrived too. He sent it specifically, especially here to Cinnabar to pick me up. Bill says, here we are. This is one island. There are several islands around here, and this is one of them. My friend Celio, C-E-L-I-O, sent the boat to fetch me here. He's in charge of the island's PC network by his lonesome. Why am I telling you this now? Let's just go Celio. You walk past two others, and you are into the Pokemon Center. This is not in Kanto, this is the Sevii Islands. Bill says, hey there, Celio. The Sevii Islands are unique to LeafGreen FireRed. They're not in any other game in the Pokemon main series. Celio says, Bill, I can't believe you came out here. Well, Bill says, well, absolutely. How's your research coming along? Oh, wait a sec. This is my buddy Celio. He's one dedicated PC maniac. Celio, this is a rising contender as the Pokemon champ. Celio, that's really impressive. I hate to say it, but I have zero aptitude for battling. Anyways, I'm glad to meet you. Bill says, so bring me up to speed. How's your machine running? Celio says, it's running fine. We're too remote out here. The PCs on this island just can't link with your PC, Bill. Bill says, oh yeah? Okay, let me take a look-see. Hang on here, I think we'd make it work. Let me help you, okay? Can I get you to wait for me just a little bit? Actually, can I get you to do me a favor? The island next to this one is called 2 Island. There's a guy there that runs a game corner. He has a thing for rare rocks and gems. We keep in touch, being fellow maniacs. So can I get you to deliver this meteorite to him? So you've accepted a meteorite from Bill. He says, Celio says, if you're going to 2 Island, please take this. And this gives you the Tri-Pass. It's a pass for the ferry service serving the local islands. It will let you travel between islands 1, 2, and 3. Oh, you should have this too. And you receive an extra page for the town map. Bill says, I'll catch you later. So Bill's messing around there. We can heal here. The little kid says, oh, you're a stranger here. Hi, where did you come from? Pallet Town? I don't know it. And one person says, on this island, there's an enormous volcano. It hasn't erupted lately, so why not enjoy a hike? One person said, I wish I could trade Pokemon with my boyfriend who lives far away. We head outside. One person says, hi, sightseeing are you? Isn't the warm climate here great? Here? And another says, here we are on an island smack in the middle of nowhere. We're lucky to have an upstanding young man like Celio here. My granddaughter was in a tizzy over Celio's friend. Something about a famous Pokemaniac. I'm not sure what that means, but Celio is quite the man. 1 Island. Friends gather at Knot Island. So if you can go back and actually take the ship back to Kanto. One person says, young, we're just going through the houses. Young people all want to go off to big cities, but want to stay here forever. And there's another building off to the side. On sunny days, I step out and gaze upon the volcano. That's my daily routine. And then let me think, when was the last time Mount Ember erupted? Okay, so now we need to travel. I'm gonna go ahead and try to surf eastward here. So it looks like surfing, there's a little island here. We can fight a few trainers. This is a water section, like anywhere, they're tentacool. There's a optional trainer in the middle on this random island, east of one island, little island. I'm beginning to get a sunburn. Let's fight a few optional trainers. This is Swimmer Abigail, who would like to battle. Level 35 Psyduck is the first Pokemon weak against Electric-type Pokemon and Grass-type Pokemon. Beating Psyduck gets 600 EXP. Next up is a level 36 Psyduck weak against Electric types and Grass types. 616 EXP to beat. Finally, there is a Golduck at level 37, weak against Electric and Grass type moves. $1,378 EXP to beat the Golduck. Abigail, you beat Abigail. She says, "Oh, you're so awful." Gives you 296 G if you have an amulet coin attached. She says, "I like that cap you have, maybe I should wear one too." Now let's go ahead and surf, now basically back up north, so we're on the northeast side of one island. This is Kindle Road. Go straight for Mount Ember. Mount Ember is where there's a major Pokemon that we can catch if we want that extra boost for the Pokemon League. There's also a higher level Meowth, if you want a higher level Meowth, and some other higher level Pokemon. This particular one is level 31. This is actually functionally part of the post-game region, but let's still mess around here and try to get that Pokemon, so it's a boost, right? It's a boost for our lineup. Geodudes are also available here, level 31. Again, higher level if you want to get a higher level Pokemon. There are trainers that kind of run around, optional trainers. This one might be a little hard to go around because it's one of the rotating trainers. She says, "My lunch filled us up, so will you battle us for some exercise?" So we're just going north on Kindle Road. Picnicker Claire, Claire, starts out with a level 35 Meow. $517 EXP to beat. Next up is a Pikachu, weak against ground type moves. Level 35 Pikachu. Beating Pikachu gets a 615 EXP. Next up is a Meowth. Level 35 Meowth. $517 EXP. Next up is a Clefairy, which is just a normal type here. Level beating the Clefairy gets us 512 EXP. 1,400 G to beat. Alright, 1,400 G with the amulet going. She says, what should I do? I feel famished again. So if you keep going up through the grassy area, there are some rocks you can smash, but we're not really at the stage. Okay. Ponytas are available in this area as well. We keep going up, there's another optional trainer we can fight. He says, you know, everything tastes great when you're out in the wild. Camper Bryce would like to battle. First Pokemon is a level 36 Nidorino, which is a poison and, well, it's really a poison type Pokemon. $909 EXP. And then finally, Sandslash, the second Pokemon. Level 36. $1,257 EXP to beat. And then finally, a level 36 Raticate, which is weak against fighting type moves. An 894 EXP. 1,440 G to beat with Amulet going. He says, the water in volcanic regions is delicious. Now you have a bit of a checkpoint area. You can go up the cliff and go right if you want to fight a few more trainers. Well, one more trainer, really. If you have Rock Smash, you can go and Rock Smash. You kind of don't have Rock Smash at the stage. If you can fight an optional female trainer, there isn't a day in which we don't train. Crush Girl Tanya would like to battle. First up is a level 38 Hitmonlee, which is a fighting type Pokemon. $1,131 EXP to beat, and then their Hitmonchan is the next fighting type Pokemon, both weak against Psychic and Flying types. 1,140 EXP to beat, 1,824 G with Amulet going. To beat her, she said, I'll train even harder from now on. If you keep going up, going back to where you were when you fought the other trainer, if you keep going up, there are a few paths you can take. If you kind of go right, you kind of go down the other side of the cliff and surf down. You can pick up an optional item, which is a max repel. Not a big deal if you don't go that way. If you go back up, there's another optional trainer you can face, which is a swimmer. I took a break from swimming only to have you challenge me. Swimmer Garrett would like to battle, starting with a Shelter. First up is a level 35 Shelter, which is a water type. $727 EXP to beat. Next Next up is a Cloyster. Level 35 Cloyster is going to be a Water and Ice type weak against Fighting. $1,522 EXP to beat. Finally, there's a Wartortle, which is going to be weak against Electric Grass type moves, level 38. $1,164 EXP. He says, "Hey, what the? You're good, you 304G to beat with Amulet Coin attached." He says, "Instead of using a surf all the time, you should swim some." It's okay. All right. So we've beaten some trainers. If we keep going up, we have some optional trainers we can fight. Doubles battle here. Kia says, "My big brother and I make an awesome combination." Crushkin Mick MIK and Kia KIA would like to battle. Now, level 39 Machoke and level 39 Primeape, they're both weak against flying type moves, and we happen to have a level 81 Charizard and a level 50 Zapdos in as our main top two Pokemon, which works just fine because they both have flying moves. To beat the Primeape, we get 622 EXP per Pokemon we have in, which happens to give Zapdos up, to level 51. 609 EXP each to beat the Machoke. Beating Mick and Kia gives us 3,744G with Amulet Coin being held. Kia says, "How could there be anyone better than my big brother?" The other says, Mick says, "How could my combination of Kia fail?" There's a item that's behind Rock Smashes Pokemon. We can't really reach that yet. There's some optional trainers we fight moving up. So we'll fight one of them first, the one on the right. Every morning before breakfast, I swim around this island. Black Belt Shia would like to battle, starting out with a Machop. It is level 38. Beating the level 38 Machop, 715 EXP. Next up is a Machoke, the evolved form, also a fighting type, level 38. They're both weak against flying and psychic moves. $1,188 EXP to beat. Our Pokemon is now level 82. $1,824G with Amulet Coin to beat, and then we'll also fight against the left trainer. Level 37 Machop to start. $697 EXP to beat, and then next up is a Machoke. Level 37 Machoke is going to be weak against flying type moves. 1156 EXP. Beating Black Belt Hugh, H-U-G-H, gets us 1776 G with the amulet coin attached. The right trainer says, I lost because I'm pooped from all the running I did. The left trainer says, even martial artists are becoming fashion conscious these days. If you keep going up, there's one more optional trainer you can face. And she says, could you help me out with my training? Crush Girl Sharon would like to battle. First up is a level 37 Mankey. A 586 EXP. Next up is a Primeape. Level 37 Primeape. $1,180 EXP. 1,776 G. With amulet coin. If you kind of keep surfing up from there. I mean, you can keep moving towards like the next section, but I'm not gonna do that here. Okay, we're going to Mount Ember. Light the fire in your heart, the sign says Ember Spa. Alright, if we keep going up Ember Spa. Soaking in a hot spring pool is therapeutic, people say. Go up and right. One person says, have a look at my face. See how smooth my skin is? The hot springs water keeps my skin younger than my age. The water is perfectly warm if you go in the spa. It feels exquisite. Your Pokemon were fully refreshed, so you can heal your Pokemon. One old guy says, this is heavenly. The water warms me to my core. You should jump in too. Go to the middle, relax, and get good and warm. One says, my favorite part bathing comes up right after this. I enjoy a bowl of chowder to warm me from the inside too. Hot springs go hand in hand with volcanoes. The Ember Spa here, well, I made it years ago. I hewed the pool right out of a gigantic boulder by hand. I was using this at the time. I suppose I impart with it. This gives you HM06. That shatters boulders as if they were made of crackers. HM06 is your next HM. That's Rock Smash. That's the Rock Smash that allows us to smash the rocks that we saw earlier. This is where you get it. Major item because it is an HM. So we are heading towards Mount Ember now. We started out one island going northward. We're heading towards Mount Ember, and then there's going to be other islands. There's Cape Brink on 2 Island, and then 3 Island, and then there's still more islands from there. But that is Sevii Islands post-game. Let's just do Moltres by continuing to surf northward from this area that we got the HM06 and fought that female trainer earlier. Some optional trainers you can fight in the water. First one says, seen from here, Mount Ember towers into the sky. Swimmer Finn, Finn, would like to battle, puts out a Starmie, which is a water and psychic type. $1,684. Beating him, 304G with the Amulet Coin. He says the sky is immense around these parts. We keep going up. Level 29. Kinda cool. We're going to keep moving up. There's another optional trainer. This one says, the weather is gorgeous, perfect for a battle. Swimmer Maria is our next optional swimmer. Level 37 Seadra to start. $1,228 EXP to beat, and then we've got Seadra. Beating Seadra, well, we got Poison Point here. 1,228 EXP to beat. 296G with Amulet Coin. She says, please don't splash my face, you'll ruin the makeup. If we keep going, we've got another optional trainer here on a little island up north on this water route up. He says, wait a second, I think I've hooked a big one. Fisherman Tommy would like to battle. There are 5 Pokemon. The first one is a level 33 Goldeen. $784 EXP. Level 33 Goldeen. Beating that. Gives us 784 EXP finally. Well, not finally, but our third Pokemon we face is a level 35 Seeking. We're gonna go ahead and heal Charizard, who got hit by Poison Point in a little bit, but I think I can at least get through this section first. 1,275 EXP to beat. Next up is a level 35 Seeking. These are all water types weak against electric and grass type Pokemon. 1,275 EXP. Next up is another level 30. I mean, this is the 4th Pokemon, the level 35 Seeking. Beating that, 1,275 EXP. Actually, that was the 5th Pokemon, sorry. Swimmer says, I've lost it all again. You get 2,520 G with the Amulet Coin to beat. And he says, not only did I lose, the big one got away from me too. Since we got Poison Point hit on that one, we're going to fly back to one island and heal the Pokemon Center and then run back up. Alright, we've healed. One thing we could have always done earlier is actually gotten the items that were behind the Rock Smash rocks. Let's go ahead and grab those. Articuno got burned, jeez. Okay. That's interesting. Ponyta got poisoned off of Articuno's poison secret power. That's kind of interesting. Ponyta's Fire Spin as a move. Alright, we managed to catch a Ponyta. Very cool. Ponyta is the grassland Pokemon, a fire horse Pokemon. Its body is light, and its legs are incredibly powerful. It can clear Ayers Rock in one leap. So we were thinking about doing Pokemon League earlier, but now at this point we are moving towards Moltres, hopefully. So there was those rocks we couldn't destroy earlier. We now have HM06, which we can put on a Pokemon. One Pokemon we can always put it on is Nidoran Male, because Nidoran Male is not as strong in our lineup and won't take up as much of a spot. We'll have it replace Helping Hand as a move. Rock Smash only does 20 power in terms of attack. But the big thing is it can crack and smash rock boulders, so we can do that. So that female trainer up on the cliff. It is above 2 rocks that we can smash. It only gives us Carbos, I suppose, so it's not... I mean, Carbos still cost 9,800 G, so it's not insignificant. You can always also break other rocks, just randomly, if you want to see if there's anything interesting there. It's always an option. And then above that swimmer that's next to the coast, There are 3 rocks you can smash. Sometimes the rocks are Pokemon, so in this case, for example, this one is a Pokemon. Happens to be a level 24 Geodude. So sometimes rocks have Pokemon. They're actually Pokemon in them. And then there is the Ether. That Ether is just a bit southeast of the twins we fought earlier. So we're going to go back through now, past the part in the cave where we got HM06 Rock Smash. We're going to keep swimming up now. We fought some optional trainers. And now we can arrive to the surf across, and we can enter Mount Ember, which is a whole other dungeon area. There's 2 boulders on the left. If you move both of them 3 to the left, you can fight against an optional trainer. Do you know how caves form inside volcanoes? This is Pokemon Ranger Beth. Starts out with a Bellsprout, level 38. Weak against grass and flying type Pokemon. $684 EXP to beat. Next up is Gloom. Same kind of weaknesses, fire and flying. 1074 EXP to beat. And then we've got Gloom. Another Gloom. So this is the second Gloom, the 3rd Pokemon in the lineup. Beating that gives us 1074 EXP after beating those 3 Pokemon. She says, you're shockingly good. Beth will give you 2,736 G of Amulet Coin attached. She says, when lava at the surface of magma hardens and the magma inside flows out, caverns are left behind. If you kind of keep going up the side, I mean, it kind of loops you back to where you were, but above the boulder area. If you wanted to break through to the other side, to the right side, you can using Rock Smash. There are a few routes. The right path there, though, doesn't really get you anywhere. If you go even further to the right, if you had gone past the hiker who says, can you imagine if this volcano were to erupt, the explosion would be end of us, how terrifying is that? While we're terrified, would you like me to teach explosion? So this is that hiker just at the very entrance of Mount Ember that we just didn't talk to yet. You can learn explosion. But if you go to the right of them, there are some Team Rocket Grunt members. One says, what the? You're in the way, get lost. Another says, over here, we'll try digging here. That treasures the admins have been talking about should be here. So those grunts won't fight you. I guess, you know, that is kind of the way to go. Moving those boulders. So maybe that first trainer wasn't so optional after all. Anyway, you have to break. So there are a few choices there. There's the left path, blocked by rock boulders. Not rock boulders, just rocks. Then you have the Rock Smash. There's the middle one. The right one doesn't take you anywhere. Just going back to where we were. The middle one, oh, I messed up. This area also has Spearows, apparently level 32, roughly. 200 and... oh, wait, actually. There's an optional trainer if you go up the stairs, up the middle steps. She says, I've been in training so I can mend my broken heart. It toughened me up physically, at least. Hi-ya! Crush Girl Jocelyn's Jocelyn would like to battle. Level 38 Hitmonchan to start. Another fighting type that is weak against flying and psychic type Pokemon. 1140 EXP to beat. Next up is a Hitmonchan. And again, weak against fighting or against flying and psychic type Pokemon moves. 1140 EXP to beat. Their start evolution is now level 83. She says, I think I tried to overdo it. 1,824 G for winning. She says, the way you battle, it reminds me of the guy who dumped me. Okay, so if you keep going up, there's just branching paths in Mount Ember. If you went up the left side, there's another trainer you can fight. Says the active volcano is one that's erupting or about to. Pokemon Ranger Logan would like to battle. Level 37 Execute. Weak against flying type moves because it's a grass type. Also weak against fire, 777 EXP to beat the Execute. Executor's the evolved form, also a grass and psychic type Pokemon. The level 40 Executor can be beaten the same way, and if you beat the Executor, you get 1,816 EXP. He says, "Woo! That was hot, sweat's erupting from me. 2,880 G with Amulet Coin. Help." He says, they say there are over 1,500 active volcanoes in the world. Just thinking about them makes me feel all hot and gooey inside. So there's an entrance on that side. Let's still take a look at the other paths. We can't go up the middle path past that, the one who had the mend a broken heart. If you go up the right path, so the medium path, if you try to go up, you can't, because you can only go down from that direction, not up, because it's a ledge. If you went up the very right side, you can pick up a dire hit. Totally optional. I mean, they're not very expensive items to buy necessarily. They're one of those temporary stat boost items. It is the leftmost side that's going to get you into the actual cave section. So we will go that way. We are at 18.5 hours. We're going to save. Our Pokedex is actually at 50 Pokedex now. We'll kind of go up on the linear path. We will go into another entrance. You can keep going. You can rock smash a bunch of things, or you can just keep going through the narrow path, going up and up and up. A bunch of stairs. And then there is another tunnel entrance. You can catch Machops and things here if you haven't caught anything that's like a level 32-ish one, or you just want to catch another. Machops are available here. But going through yet another tunnel entrance, you just keep going and going, and then you go through another entrance. So going through 3 of the cave tunnels leads you up to where you would have been above the medium path entrance. So you're at a higher up level now. if you kind of go up and to the left and just take the linear path left, you can pick up an Ultra Ball. And that's all there is on that side. Try to go right. You can't really go through right away. It's just completely blocked off by boulders and rock smashes. You can go up the middle path and go up again, and that leads you to a whole new area with boulders. You gotta move in order to get through. The way to do it is there are 4 boulders here. You'll want to move the right one up one. One immediately to the left of that, left one. Then move the other one left. And then the very top one up one, two, and then two to the right, and then you'll be right in front of Moltres. Let's save here. Let's try to catch Moltres, the last of the legendary birds in this game. Again, save beforehand. I would suggest putting in a Pokemon like Zapdos to start, because Zapdos has the ability to paralyze. And let's go after Moltres. This is a level 50 Moltres. We'll start out by using Thunder Wave. Moltres is a fire and flying type Pokemon, so it can do significant damage to a Pokemon like Venusaur. We've gone ahead and put Thunder Wave on it so that it is paralyzed and can be a little easier to take out, because certain moves it won't be able to attack, and because it's paralyzed, it will take a little bit more damage. And be a little bit easier to catch, functionally. Moltres' Flamethrower is a move that's pretty strong. And then we are going to switch over to Charizard to take some of the damage. Oh wait, oh yeah, there's the Vortex thing I can't actually move. But we can start throwing Ultra Balls at it. No, we just gotta keep throwing balls. Fire Spin as for Moltres does make it a little bit more challenging in terms of trying to switch Pokemon. Moltres has agility like every other Pokemon. Just continue to throw Ultra Balls while Moltres is down at the red level of health. It's kind of just keep throwing things kind of thing. We just gotta keep throwing Ultra Balls. With all luck, you have not a very high chance of catching a Moltres. tend not to try using Master Balls even though they're available, because there's so many legendaries. And it's more interesting to try to catch these with Ultra Balls. But we're really looking at, per throw, probably like 1 in 30 shots at it, you probably will be able to catch a Moltres. Because each throw is about 3.5% chance with an Ultra Ball. Maybe a bit lower, more like 2.35 for a Great Ball in this situation. And maybe more like 1.6 with a Pokeball, so we're trying to throw Ultra Balls. It's still a pretty low percentage, and if I had not paralyzed Moltres, I mean, we're looking at under 2% chance of catching. Well, maybe about 2%. Alright, starting to run out of Ultra Balls here. Let's see. Oh, that is really good timing. Starting to run out. I said 1 of 28 chance of catching one. That was 28 Ultra Balls. So this is a rare Pokemon, a flame Pokemon. We've caught Moltres, one of the legendary bird Pokemon. Those seeing it are overwhelmed by its orange wings that seem to be on fire. So that is perfectly timed. We've now caught one. So one kind of neat area we can actually mess around on before we leave this area. Actually, there is a way to get to this upper right part that I said we couldn't move, because we would move the bottom boulder 2 to the right, or 3 to the right. Then we would break the rock just above it to the left. We would also break the other rock to the left of the 2 boulders back to back. So we move the other boulder up 1, and then the other boulder up, or left 1 rather, and then we get a Firestone, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so what we gotta do here is, let's get out of here. So escape rope is not possible in this area, which is fine. We'll have to hop our way down. But the easy way is we can just hop down the middle ledge that we got through earlier. And then there are other ledges we just keep hopping down, all the way down and out, back onto Kindle Road. Now that we've caught... Okay, first off, we want to make sure we have saved after beating Moltres. We're gonna fly back to What Island's Pokemon Center. Let's heal at the Pokemon Center, and then we're gonna head back into town. So what we can do to head back towards, we can go back south of the Pokemon Center and go to the sailor person. Who says, ahoy there, where do you want to sail? So you can't just go straight back. Let me see if there's actually a way to do this. So we gotta go to 2 Island next. So we can go down to the sailor, and then all right, all aboard Sea Gallop High Speed 2. We will mess around 2 Island later. Thanks for watching. 18 hours and 46 minutes in. Thanks for watching.